Hey everybody, it's Anne from Revelry Artistry again. Um, Today we're going to use my new homemade faux crocodile skin silicone mould. Get it right, Anne, come on. That I made myself, which you can see in previous videos. It's going to do the purpose. I mean, it's not that glamorous to look at with its little lumps and bumps here and there. But hey ho, it does the job. So I'm going, I don't know what's there, I don't know. Anyway, I've used my sticky tape and I've gone round them all, and I have made sure there's no debris in there, because there was quite a bit of debris, all these tiny little bits of silicone that I'd clipped off with my little clippers. Anyway, so I'm going to do my faux crocodile skin coasters using the last 4 of my Let's Resin chameleon powders. I've got, this one is got plum, mint, champagne and grape. Can you see them? It's a bit tricky to hold them. Oops. Ooh. Oh. Okay, let's not bother with that. Anyway, so let's see what they look like. I'm going to tap them all on the top, just because the powder rises up, and I believe these will have a cover on because I've not used them before. What you don't want to do is when you open it, you get a puff of powder coming out. Very dangerous for your health. Oops. Now that's going to make a mess. Let me just move it to one side so it doesn't spray all over my nice clean mould. Now I haven't, well, that's very pretty, isn't it? Look at that. I haven't actually mixed my resin yet, because I'm going to use the epoxy resin J Diction 4-hour demold. Excellent. It only has a 30-minute work time, and you have to be within that time, otherwise it just sets up too quick. But if you keep within that time, so plan your project, make sure you're completely in control of what you're doing to be within that time. Not the greatest one for doing the 3D blooms, because 3D blooms do need time to bloom. So I tried it once, it wasn't bad, but I know I ran out of time. It got warmer and warmer and warmer, and I thought, I'm going to have a flash cure here in a minute if I'm not careful. So yeah, great to use for something like this, where literally I'm going to be putting in the camellia powder, then I'm going to mix my resin, and then I can pour it straight away, can't I? So, and then in 4 hours I better pop them out and put the top coat on, and then I could use J Diction UV resin and put it under my blue light, and these would all be done within the day. So not sure I'll do that yet, but anyway, this is what I'm going to use. Well happy with it. So where's my, I've got my brush, here we go. Let's do the first one. This one is grape. Well, I thought, well, I suppose, oh, that's interesting looking. I'm going to be a little bit more generous with the powder, because I do tend to seem to get bald patches in certain places. Well, not bald patches, but where, you know, you can see there's a difference in the amount of coverage. So I'm sort of quite try and make everything go, you know, like when you're emulsioning a wall, I always sort of try and roller it to within the nth degree of its of paint left on the roller. Try and spread it further and further, but you don't really win anything with that. Okay, so let's, I won't be making any more silicone moulds, I've decided. I'm going to go and buy some from Julie Cuts, Pouring a Heart Out, and although I've got to pay the postage from Australia to here, I think I'll get a long life out of them, because they look incredibly robust. And they are, you know, she's my favourite artist of the moment, and she has some wonderful ideas, and you know, so on and so forth. So that's where I'll be getting mine from. I would have got some already, except for the fact my car's gone wrong and it's gone in the garage today to be fixed. I was thinking it was going to be a really hefty bill, but actually, well, it's still a lot of money, really. Cars are great, aren't they, while they keep going, but as soon as something goes wrong, you think, oh my god, it's going to break the bank. Anyway, turns out it's the wheel bearing. So it could have been a lot worse. So I can't drive anywhere today. I've had the day off work, but it means I can have time in my studio with you lovely people while I paint away and gabble and prattle. And my daughter, who's had the face op, is a lot better. We're actually getting there now. Anything else to tell you? Dogs are great. We've got the big wedding, of course, in July. No, July. September, of my youngest daughter getting married. So yeah, that's going to be a day and a half. I'll be out of action for at least a week then, because we're then going on, as they go on honeymoon, we're going on holiday. As a big relief. And I'm also making the wedding cake, which will include, don't tell anybody because I don't want her to know, the use of resin. So and she doesn't know. I mean, oh god, this is going to be scary, because she's so planned for this wedding. She is so precise and so organised. You just dare not stray from the path. But I'm going to stray, and let's see what she thinks. Right, let's go on to champagne. But I will post a pic on one of my videos when it's all over with, and so you can see the happy couple and see the cake, if I can get away with it. She knows I tend to go a bit rogue sometimes. This one is champagne, yeah. Oh, that's lovely as well, isn't it? I just love these colours. I could paint these on forever. Yeah, I've been watching somebody on called eJoy's Art Space, and she puts lots of clips together and really sort of makes sense of lots of little projects that you can do. I thoroughly recommend that you watch her. I've subscribed to her channel. If you want to subscribe to mine, I'd be incredibly grateful, because I don't know, something about getting a subscriber, just one, is so exciting for me. But it's my little world, isn't it? I think I might have 4 or 5 now. But anyway, yes. So yeah. So please subscribe, and then I'll get my Etsy shop running sooner or later when I get a bit of time. Oh, it's far too much. How am I going to get that off? And I'll be putting my surplus stuff in there. Anything I make, I can set is up for sale. I can't keep it all myself, and nor do I have enough friends to give it all away to. So, yeah, and my kids will probably breathe a sigh of relief, because they always accept everything I give them with joy. But I think that's probably going to go in the cupboard. Yeah. No. Oh, I've got a bit too much on here. What should I do about that? Can I get it off? I don't want it all to float. Oh dear. Let me have a think about that when I do the last ones. Perhaps use a kitchen roll. Let's have a look. See if I get a piece of kitchen roll. And very carefully just sort of go. No. That's not really working. I'll leave it a minute. Anyway, so that was that one. That's champagne. And the next one we have is mint, which I'm presuming is a type of green. Yeah, there it is, like a green interference, not interference, a chameleon. Just trying to get rid of this. Whoops, what's that? A little bit of silicone there. Let me just pull it out. There we go. Right. Where's the excess? This is the excess here. Just brushing it around a bit more. See if I can lose it all. It will float up though, I know it will. Right, now let's go with this one, mint. You see it? Wow, that's pretty lovely. You can see how all the moulds are slightly differently patterned. So I placed them on my faux crocodile leatherette so that they all had a slightly different part of the pattern. Oh, some lovely colours. Oh, don't tell me I've put too much on again. No. Oh, a little bit excess there. But never mind. Right, that's mint. And then we have the last one, which is plum, which I'm presuming is a dark sort of mauvey purple or burgundy colour. Yeah, well, pinky. Is it going to be much different to that one, I wonder? Let's have a look. Oh yes, they are lovely colours. Don't you just love colour? When I'm watching television, I tend to do sort of cross stitch or something. I find it hard to sit still in front of a TV program, even if it's something that I really want to see. And oh, it's another little bit of something there. Don't want near. It's a little bit of silicone where I've pinged it off with my little scissors and thought I've got it out, and I haven't. Oh, there's another bit. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, I cross stitch, and it's more about the colours. I don't care what I do really, because what am I going? It's just a pastime. I don't do anything with them. I mean, my family will just have them eventually, but I don't think they'll want them particularly. But it's just my pastime anyway, because I like to keep busy. And the one I'm doing at the moment, it's just one I got. It's from Amazon. It was just cheap and cheerful, but I've got a pack of 4 cross stitches that are all about 13 inches square. And what's that? Oops, there's a great big piece there. Look. Whoops. It's just the colours, you know, it's just nice and colourful, different colours. And it was about £14 for 3, including all the threads. And I tell you what, it's got the pattern actually on the canvas, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a bit odd. But it's one of those ones where you just then dip it in water afterwards, wash it. I'll just use some sturgeon and warm water, and all the background colours disappear. Magic. Just makes it easier. You haven't got to keep counting all the time. Right, there we go. Are we happy with that? Yep. Still think there's too much on this one, but what can you do? Okay. Now I'm going to love you and leave you for 5 minutes while I mix my resin, because then we will, it's all about speed. So bear with, I'll come back in a sec. Hi folks, I'm back again. I've mixed up 200 mils of resin. That's 100 each of the hardener and the resin itself. So I reckon about 15 mils each. Had given it a good stir. Now I'm going to add some black pigment, mica powder rather, to make the back black, obviously. Let me just find a... So we're going to need quite a lot of black, I think, in here. So let's go 1, 2, this is just matte black, 3 big ones. That's just guessing. I'm not working it, that's not, no calculation on my part, that is literally me guessing. So I'm just going to sort of slowly add it, bearing in mind you need to keep an eye on the time. not sure what the time is actually. My Fitbit broke, screen fell off it, but my husband very nicely has ordered me another one, so I shall have that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'm pretty lost. Look at the I keep looking at my wrist because I use that for everything, you know, because you can see the time all the time, and I time everything on that. So right, so remember we are in the 30-minute work time now, but obviously, you know, we should be well up to date in the time frame. It's quite a stiff one, and it's very good on the bubbles. Hardly any, I have to say. You have to be a bit careful with bubbles when you've got a quick setup, because obviously they don't have time to rise, and if 4-hour demolds tend to be thicker anyway, whatever sort of make you use. But you know, air bubbles, you can never be the person who can be bubble free every time. I'll take my hat off. That's if you haven't got one of these vacuum things or any special gadgets like the ordinary hoi polloi. Now is this, I want it well mixed in because I don't want any sort of flaky bits in it. Hard to tell with black, but it's a lovely deep opaque black, more or less opaque. I'll do. That'll do for me. That'll do, pig. Right, let's give it a good whirl, shall we? Okay, so, yeah, I'm just going to put some in each and work it out as I go along. Oops, big dollop. You see all the bubbles popping? Can you see that? Just popping away. I'll put a hefty amount in that one. It's probably enough for that one. Let's give it a minute to settle. Now, how far? That one is fuller. Oh, this one is really full. So let's go with these two again. If I was sensible, I would weigh it, wouldn't I? Would I not? A bit more in that one. Come on, baby, you can do it. There we go. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. 4 hours later, you'll see me demoulding. Okay, speak to you soon. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. I'll see you in 4 hours. Hi again. I've just mixed up my top coat, and I'm just beginning to apply it. I'm using the same resin, which is the J. Diction 4-hour unmould. You have to be a little bit fiddly with this because you do want it to go right to the edge, because otherwise you get little bare patches. But you don't want it to go over the edge, so just be sort of like a steady eddy with it and make sure you get into all the little wrinkles. And then it's a very fine line between putting too much resin on and not enough. But all these things, it's all practice, isn't it? You know, you learn as you go on. You get to know your resins, you get to know what they do and what they don't do, and so on and so forth. But these are actually, this resin is actually really good for something like coasters, because you could get a quick result. You know, these are all going to be completely ready to, you know, completely done and set up and everything by 10 o'clock tonight. So, you know, imagine if you had to do 100. Goodness me, that would be a day or two. Still waiting for my car to come back from the garage, or from the chap who does it. He does it at the garage, but you know, he does it himself, sort of thing. So he picks up the car and brings it back, which is really nice of him. So there we go. See, that's pretty much there. You get to know when you can see when it hasn't quite, see, just there. Now, what you have to be careful of is it will try and run back. It's a tricky thing, this. And that usually means you haven't quite got enough resin on there. So, I think this is going to need a tiny bit more, because it's trying to run back. As usual, I probably haven't made enough resin. I'll let that just settle. Let's move on to another one. You don't watch me do the whole shebang, really, do you? Or maybe you do. Who knows? I'm going to need more resin. How annoying. I'll be a little bit more generous with this one. I'll probably get 3 out of what I put. It's 40 mils altogether, 20 of the hardener and 20 of the resin. I'll probably have to make up something like 10 mils or something. It'd be really annoying. But yeah, there we go. So well, I won't bore you to death with this, unless you like listening to me prattle on. You can always fast forward, can't you? Drown me out. I won't edge these with gold or silver or anything like that. I'll probably let them stand as they are, because they look nice without that little extra. I think they're quite uniform in size, because if you remember, I was a bit worried about how deep I'd done them. Oh, I think my car's just coming back. I will have to put you on hold, and I'll come back when they're all done. Okay, speak to you in a mo. Hi folks, here's the finished product of our testing of my new faux crocodile skin mould. I've put the top coat on. Doesn't that look lovely? Are we happy? I'm happy. By the time you put the top coat on, these are quite sort of meaty. I think I might have these somewhere in the house. And this one, of course, you could use them as anything, not just coasters. You could use them to stand pots on or anything. So I've just got to have a little file around the back, a little bit of sharp edges there, but that doesn't take a minute. So I'll just bring you down and show you a bit closer up. See if I can do this quite steadily. Let's use the ring light. It's a nuisance, but whoops, let's get some proper light. I'm whispering again, who knows why? I don't know. Okay, so really happy with that. We'll definitely use it again. Might try it perhaps with oh, I think I've got some ideas actually. Watch this space. Yes, we'll definitely go again with them and try something slightly different. Okay, speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Bye.